More than 800 Venezuelans seeking to be registered daily under the Trinidad government's amnesty program. And in sport, West Indies chasing 289 for victory in their World Cup clash with Australia. I'm Ricardo Robertson. This is Caribbean in 10 for Thursday, June 6, 2019. I'll be back with the details after the break. The Trinidad and Tobago government's amnesty registration drive for Venezuelans has so far seen an average of 850 people passing through most centers daily. That's according to Acting National Security Minister Fitzgerald Hines. The registration, which will continue at 3 centers in Port of Spain, San Fernando and Tobago until June 14th, allows Venezuelans in TNT, whether legally or illegally, to stay and work for a year and have access to health care. Hines said that despite some initial kinks with the system, which have since been worked out, it appeared the process was going very smoothly and was attracting those for whom it was intended. If the trend continues, just over 11,000 Venezuelans would be registered at the end of the process. But opposition leader Kamala Persad-Bissessar is criticizing the registration process. She says the government has not been properly managing the situation and there's been no indication as to the next step.
So the government has not planned this thing properly. They have not put it into place from day to day. They don't seem to have thought it out. When asked what will happen at the end of the year, the acting minister said he couldn't speak about that.
The opposition leader says while she supports the humanitarian effort, a better strategy needs to be in place.
In our communities especially, there are so many of these migrants that will impact socio-economic, health-wise, education-wise. We wait to see and we will offer whatever assistance we can.
Commenting on the government's choice to use rental venues to conduct the registration, Persad-Bissessar says it might have been the better option.
And maybe that may not be such a bad thing, because I had concerns about whether they'll be using EBC offices. Remember, we had concerns, or any kind of government office where you may have some kind of interference with the process. So what will be important is what does it cost? What has been the cost for the rental of the venues? We still don't know what that cost is.
The opposition leader says she is concerned about the role registered migrants may play in election rigging, and as such will be monitoring the electoral process closely.
And that report from TV6's Cindy Raghubar Tika Singh. Police investigations are underway in Turin, Italy, after the bodies of 2 Bahamian men were pulled from a river. 28-year-old Blair Rashad Randy John was retrieved from the Poor River yesterday morning, a day after his 29-year-old friend, Bahamian diplomat Alri Ramsey, was found in the same river. John, a student at St. Mary's University in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, had traveled to Turin to present an academic paper at a psychology conference. Now, Ramsey, who had been on study leave in Austria from his job at the Bahamas Embassy in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, went to the Italian city to meet up with his friend. The relatives of the deceased are seeking answers, particularly with reports in the Italian media that Ramsey had a head injury compatible with a fall. Hamita Swine of ZNS Network News reports.
I need answers as to when they learned about this incident, where the bodies were recovered, how they were recovered, the injuries, because what I'm hearing in social media, I don't follow. So I need to speak and look in the authorities' eyes, because I need to say something positive to my family and to my sister, who is much devastated.
ZNS News understands that Ramsey was to meet up with his school friend, 28-year-old Blair John, both graduates of St. Augustine's College.
Being schoolmates and colleagues, they decided they would connect. Okay, they connected, and they both disappeared.
Obviously, that was a cause for alarm.
I'll call home every weekend. That didn't happen this weekend. So this raised a red flag, knowing that these two promising, decent, educated Bahamians would disappear.
And stay with us, your Midday Sport is next.
Welcome to this year's 50th Caribbean Broadcast Union Assembly on the island of San Andres. San Andres is a small archipelago located in between Jamaica and Panama in the Western Caribbean Sea. A lush, exotic island rich in culture, history, gastronomy, and breathtaking scenic views. Known for its beaches and 7-colored crystalline waters, the island of San Andres will be proudly hosting this year's event. CBU members will enjoy top-of-the-line accommodations for an unforgettable experience in San Andres, connecting Caribbean nations through this year's 50th edition of the CBU Assembly.
Shea Hope's half-century and a flurry of boundaries by Andre Russell and Captain Jason Holder anchored West Indies' runs chase against Australia, and that match remains in the balance at the halfway stage of the innings today. Now, after 45 overs, the West Indies are 251 for 6, with Captain Jason Holder unbeaten on 50 and Craig Brathwaite on 16. Now, earlier, tail ender Nathan Coulter-Nile and stroke maker Steve Smith slammed half-centuries to rescue Australia and leave West Indies facing a tricky runs chase.
Oh, yes! He has indeed. Bit cramped, and another goes down. Oh, yes! He has indeed. Just going across him on the angle. D-Russ back into the attack, and he does the trick. Absolutely brilliant. Exactly what the West Indies were after. A little bit of indecision from Carey.
Yeah, class bowling again. It's not the pace here, Russell, it's the skill.
That is brilliant. That is outstanding from Sheldon Cottrell. Jason Holder takes it easily. Jason Holder again takes it.
Now, Carlos Brathwaite got wickets at the back end of the innings to end with 3 for 67, while fellow pacers Andre Russell, Sheldon Cottrell and O'Shane Thomas finished with 2 wickets each. And of course, you'll get the full highlights of the West Indies versus Australia in our major newscast at 6:30. That's Caribbean in 10. Good afternoon.